$1,000 on the fact that Bill Belichick will be the head coach of the Dallas Cowboys.
There's a future out there. I have to look into that.
You know what? I don't think they have it out there yet, but if I wish there was,
I'll have to
because
look into
I
that.
would put $1,000 on the fact that I believe Bill Belichick will be the head coach of the Dallas Cowboys next year if they bust and Mike McCarthy doesn't get the job done, which is not promising right now because of. But the only reason why I hold out any hope that this season might be really good for them. Friends, countrymen, fellow degenerates, welcome back to this episode of Bets and Buds. We're getting dry up in the sports world right now, but I'm Jason Smoking Token.
I'm Bobby Light.
Hey, we're in the finals here on both NBA and NHL.
Yes, we are.
And then we got baseball after that, baby. And
baseball,
that's about fucking it.
WNBA getting talked about.
Oh, yeah.
Leading Sports Center this morning.
Oh, yeah. WNBA, it's hot. I mean, you know, obviously, like, our world loves controversy. So, I mean, like, you know, once the controversy is involved, I mean, that's
plenty
all.
Of it.
Yeah, I mean, that's going to, you know, hey, the Caitlin Clark effect, good or bad, good on you, WNBA. All you women, don't let me get in trouble. I almost slipped this in trouble. All you women, make sure you get, feed into that, because right now your league is getting talked about, and that's only going to bring more and more money.
They are.
More and more money to your league. More and more money.
So how you doing, Jason?
I'm good, brother. How you doing?
I can't really do that. I think I got some poison oak
going
on
yeah.
right now.
You keep that shit over there because I'm highly allergic.
Try not to be touching.
Yeah. I'm highly allergic, so you keep that shit to yourself. But always good to see you, Bobby. Like, welcome on back, everybody. Make sure you hit that like and subscribe button, add to the comment section. Shout to True on the track, blessing us with those beats. Give it up for Director Dave, always keeping us on the ones and twos, keeping us nice and crisp and clean, looking for you, sounding good, feeling good.
Yep.
Let's get ready to get this party started, baby.
All right, let's start off with the Cardinals. They just won the game today.
Yes, they did. 4-2 against the Astros.
4-2, so they completed their road trip, this 9-game road trip. They went 4-5 on the road trip.
4-5, 5-5 in the last 10 games.
Yep, and 2-4 in their last 6, though. I mean, they finally played some teams with some decent caliber hitting,
but you know what the biggest thing was when you watch those games, though? It was the errors.
Oh yeah,
it was a fielding. The fielding more than anything else.
26 errors in the last 19 games for the Cardinals. The fielding is atrocious.
So right now, and it's weird because it's like the people you wouldn't expect it to be from either. Because like Mason Wynn, I think is leading the club with like 10 errors.
Yeah, I think he's second in all of baseball.
Yeah, and what's crazy is like if you looked about like 3 weeks ago, they were first in fielding. Now they're like 11.
Yeah.
So so the fielding really has been like actually giving the pitching their issues too as well. So
yeah, because Lynn really pitched good the other night.
Yeah, Lynn pitched good. Gibson did pitch bad the other night.
4 unearned runs in that game.
Yeah, exactly. So. But one of the errors was his, so
right.
You might as well call that an earned run, But stat wise, it is what it is. So but yeah, a lot of it's just been kind of like the fielding more than anything else lately. In my opinion.
It is. You're right. But they've got a 7-game home trip coming up here, starting out with 4 against the Rockies, and
2 games under 500.
2 games under 5 or
29-31.
That's right, 29-31. So like I said, 7 at home, 4 against the Rockies. Not a great team. We know that.
Right.
And Pirates are the Pirates. But the Pirates always play the Cardinals tough. They always do. Interdivision games. So.
And they got 2 pitching phenoms right now, too.
They do. I am excited
to
see about the Skeens.
Yeah, and Skeens. Paul Skeens is no joke, man.
Yeah.
That dude is no joke. How long will he be a Pittsburgh Pirate is really the question, because that's how
as soon as that first contract runs out.
Exactly, because that's how that always goes.
And then they take the Cubs go up to Chicago after that homestand. So, I mean, you've got 10 games here where you can make a move in the division.
Definitely, absolutely. And they could easily be, after these 10 games, maybe 5-6 games over 500.
Yeah, potentially, yes.
I still think it's a mediocre baseball squad. I mean, we know right now they're doing plug-and-play stuff. Like as far as with that being said, you got to give Ali Marmol a little bit of props as far as this managing job of the season, because the reason why I say that, you got a suspect starting pitching staff. You got a bullpen that's getting overworked and overtaxed right now, and you got a bunch of players playing out of position.
I do actually would have to give them some credit for turning this thing around.
You would have to a little bit. I mean, just because I say, you got a lot of players playing out of position right now. I mean, one of your top prospects is still in the minor leagues.
Right. And not looking good.
Yeah,
either.
It's still not looking good. So I mean, again. You got to give him a little bit of credit. His starting catcher that was hit started off well. Yep. Now you had to play with the backup catcher. So there's a lot of things in place. As much as he's gotten a lot of bad press and bad pub on what his job he's doing, you got to give him a little credit for what he's doing, keeping the team around 500.
But talking about the Contreras thing, since Herrera has taken over, since Contreras got injured, he is batting .318.
Oh, yeah.
So Herrera's offense isn't a problem. It's probably his defense, really.
Yeah.
He's even as bad as Contreras was compared to Molina. Like Herrera's still not even in Contreras' league.
Right, and I don't think that's a fair comparison for anybody against Molina. Just
No,
because, I mean,
no,
because,
but like that's just what we've seen.
That's what we've seen for 20 years.
Yeah.
So absolutely, so I mean that's just what it is. But I mean that's the Cardinals they're in the transition. Like I said, I think they really missed the boat last year, being able to make the moves.
Yep.
We talked about this on the show a couple times before. They really missed the boat moving like Paul Goldschmidt. Now, because like if you look at Arenado's like third on the team with errors, with like 6,
right?
At third base right now. So,
yeah, I mean, he's not playing good defense lately either. He actually had a home run today, so maybe he breaks out of his funk. He's still not good. In his last 6 games, he's only 5 for 26.
Yeah. I mean,
a couple of home runs, couple RBIs. Goldie is just not good. No home runs, no RBIs. 4 for his last 20.
His average is a little bit better than what Arenado's is, I think.
It is, barely though, just barely.
And his on base, he's getting on base, so he's so we'll see what happens.
Now it's Gorman doing the old Babe Ruth impression the last few games. I mean, 4 home runs, 6 RBIs in the last 3, so he's just pounding the ball.
Gorman's nice. The problem is we need Tommy Edman back, and they got to get him off second base. And for whatever reason, they're saying they don't want to make him a DH and don't want to pigeonhole him as a DH. The dude is a DH.
Oh, he is definitely
he is a DH.
Or a first baseman.
Yeah, or a first baseman. So again, why are we again, Paul Goldschmidt, I mean, that they had their chance. So right now, you almost have to hang on to him now just because of the fact that you really didn't get what you could have got from him last year. Last year,
you just got to let the contract run.
Yeah, because last year he came off the MVP season. I mean, you could have got some top pitching prospects.
Yes, you could.
There is not a single number 1 pitching prospect in the Cardinals organization, in their minor league organization right now.
No, not a number 1.
Not even kind of. Not even kind of a number 1. And that's what they need in their future. And they really could have actually positioned themselves for something like that for their future. But again, not my money. I'm not a GM. I'm not.
That's the thing. The starters just do not go deep enough lately.
That's most major leagues right now.
You're lucky to get 5 innings out of this Cardinals.
Oh, absolutely. Absolutely, but especially in the last couple of games when you've been leading the majors in errors. I mean, that's hard.
It hurts. Because you're throwing extra pitches.
That's extra pitches, extra outs. It's everything all the way around. And then the bullpen now is getting stressed, and everything. Everybody's getting overworked because you can't give major league teams extra outs. You just cannot do that.
I mean, you've got 2 guys on track to be throw 80 games this year.
Yeah,
you really shouldn't have your guys throwing 80 games.
Yeah, no, absolutely not. Not out of the bullpen. No, not
unless it's like Steve Klein, who used to come in for that one guy.
Right, exactly.
With his dirty hat. 81 games, he had like 30 innings pitched.
Exactly. Yes, I mean, but that's what the Cardinals are right now. So I mean, it's kind of a good. I mean, not a bad state of affairs from where we were.
No, from where we were. Yeah, I was looking back over my notes. I mean, just like 4 weeks ago, it was 13 and 21 or something like that. It was really bad.
Yeah.
But they have turned it around, so we got that going for us.
Absolutely.
All right. So let's move on to the finals. What you got for the finals?
All right, so NBA finals right now. I'll dive into that first. So right now we got the Celtics and the Mavericks. We're going to see that this is going to be obviously the first game. 2 games are in Boston.
Yep.
I believe it's tomorrow night where we start the first tip off.
Start tomorrow.
So I mean, Kristaps Porzingis is back. So that's going to be where it might be a tough challenge for Dallas. If Porzingis is back and fully healthy, that's where it's going to change the floor tremendously, because a lot of those lobs that Dallas was getting last series and the way they play defense, you got Drew Holiday, and Derek White. They're 2 of the best defenders in the backcourt on that end. So they got people that can possibly neutralize Luka and Kyrie Irving. If those 2 play out of their mind, this could be a 6 or 7 game series.
Okay.
But I could also see if Kristaps Porzingis is back in full health and ready to go, and neutralize the guys like Derek Likely, those players like that are like benefiting from Luka and Kyrie being so dominant. I could see this being a quick series, and maybe a gentleman's sweep or a full sweep very easily for Boston, just because of that fact. Because not Luka, but Kristaps Porzingis he's came back healthy, but those 2 guys are dogs. They're dogs, and they're phenomenal players. So I mean, they're going to need those role players to step in, because all the focus is going to be on. We will let anybody beat us but those 2.
Yep.
Anybody beat us but those 2. So that's where that goes. Boston went 12-2 against the Eastern Conference, but I mean, we know they had 2 teams that they played that were very depleted from the Knicks and the Pacers. They kind of went, and the Pacers really had a chance. They just blew it in the last couple minutes of each one of those games in the series. So I mean, like it can go quick. But, I mean, again, Dallas has been playing with a good team continuity that I like the way they play good team basketball. Anything could happen in that capacity. So, really, these first 2 games are going to be crucial. I think Dallas has to steal one game up in Boston.
Okay.
They have to steal one game in Boston.
Well, Dallas is obviously the underdog in this series. They're going off at plus 175 right now.
Which isn't bad.
No, that's
which
not
isn't
bad.
odds. Which isn't bad. But again, that seems about right. But I mean, definitely, I think they have to steal one game in this series to even have a fighting chance. I mean, in the first two games, to have a fighting chance.
In game one right now, the spread stands at 6.5. Dallas is getting 6.5. So I don't know. I'd probably actually take some of that.
Yeah, I wouldn't mind taking one.
Keep it close. Keep it close.
Even
in
that first game is a shocker. Just because the fact that Boston had a little bit more of a rest, they had a little bit more downtime.
Mm-hmm.
See if
that's the other thing. Boston has not played basketball for a long time, much longer than Dallas.
So. And Porzingis has actually been. He's been out for so long, so them trying to integrate him back into the lineup too. It's a chemistry game. Because if you saw last year between Kyrie and Luka, it took them a long time to get that going. That's why they didn't make the playoffs last year.
Yeah, they didn't even make the playoffs.
But this year they looked phenomenal together. So sometimes it takes a little bit. They've gotten used to playing without Porzingis, so now he's back in the lineup.
Yeah,
so
it could mess the whole rotation.
It could. So let's see. So that first game, that might be a sneaky one to get if you get the Mavericks right there.
That's plus 190 on the Mavericks on the money line. Game one.
That could be a good sneaky pick right there for game one. So yeah, like I said, I see it going probably 5-6 games tops. But I really don't see it going to get like 7 games if Porzingis is healthy enough to be able to play the full series.
Actually, I haven't seen much of the Celtics in the playoffs because they play all these early games, and usually when I'm out watching, it's the late games.
Right.
I've seen more of Dallas, but from everything they're talking about, Celtics are obviously the better team.
Oh yeah, but from the top to bottom, they're a better team. Just matchup wise. But again, you can never overstate somebody like Luka Doncic.
Right, he could take the series over.
Or Kyrie Irving, because like I said, Kyrie Irving still to this day, anybody will tell you, any real basketball buffs, he's the most skilled basketball player anybody really has seen in the modern era in a long time. Because he is very thorough. He can finish with both hands. He can create any shot he wants. Can create other shots for other people, and his basketball IQ is through the roof. So he was Uncle Drew. I don't know if you saw the movie Uncle Drew. He was Uncle Drew, baby.
So ultimately, you like the Celtics to win?
Ultimately, yes. The Celtics, I do like to win. Against my better, that's how I became a Laker fan in my lifetime. I hate the Celtics. Don't like anything about the Celtics. But when I'm being a unbiased basketball analyst, I'm saying, you know what? I think the Celtics are primed to win. It's 6 games at best, but I can see it going in 5.
Okay. I got you. All right, let's move on to the NHL. So we've got a Canadian team in the finals.
Yes, we do. Mick Jesus, baby.
Yeah, Mick Jesus. I actually think this could go down as one of the most watched finals probably in the 2000s.
Yeah, it should be.
If not number 1, up there in the top 2. So far, I've gone 8-6 on the NHL so far. I didn't really have a good NHL postseason. I got the Florida into the conference finals right, even though originally I picked them to lose against Tampa Bay in the first round. So, did I think they would make it here all the way back in the first round? No, but they did. Edmonton really shocked me with what they did to Dallas. Those last 3 games, to only give up 4 goals to the Stars.
Yeah, Skinner, he impressed me in the goal. He definitely impressed me in the goal. He was a lot more solid than I've ever seen him play.
That is the best goaltending that Edmonton has got in a long time.
And what I liked about that last game, it looked like McDavid, he was determined to not let him beat them that time.
He was going to make it happen. Yeah. But the thing is, Florida has already beaten better goaltenders and better teams than Edmonton already just to get to the finals. I actually think Florida gentlemen sweeps this one 5-1.
I can see that too.
I see this being a 4-1 series. Edmonton, it's just not there.
Yeah.
The defense and goaltending is just not going to be there. This Florida team is too skilled.
And they're playing bully ball too.
They're calling them the new bully boys.
They are. They are playing bully ball. Kachuk is just a monster, man. He is a monster.
Believe me, we wish we had him in St.
Louis. We said this over and over again. And that was one of the downfalls of them not making that trade happen.
I would trade half the Blues team for
Kachuk my gosh, yes. Come on, Brady. Come on home.
Please,
come on, Brady.
Come on home, Brady. Come on home. But yeah, I ultimately think Florida wins this one. Florida's the favorite. Edmonton's the underdog. But it's really not that bad.
Yeah.
Edmonton's got to steal this first one at home. Yeah. I think they've got to steal this first one.
Oh, yeah. They're going to have to. They're going to absolutely have to.
If they don't win the first game, they might not win a game.
Yeah. I can see I can see this being a sweep, but because you got Bobrovsky has been unbelievable in the pipes.
He's turned it around. He had a couple of bad games there for a little bit, but man, he has turned around. He's playing really solid.
Yeah, absolutely.
Really solid.
But Florida just has a lot of firepower. I mean, because you even look at our old boy Tarasenko. He's been up there like as a lead in power play goals with him.
Mikko Mikkola's on that team as well.
So. I forgot Mikkola was on that team.
Mikkola's on that team too.
Was it Stetson Bennett? Is that what? Not Stetson Bennett. That's a quarterback from Georgia.
Oh, Sam Bennett.
Sam Bennett. Yeah,
Sam Bennett. Yeah, they're talking like should
and then Barkov too.
Should the Blues make a run at Bennett? This offseason. I don't know. There's Mitch Marner talk going around out there. Bennington for Marner, some kind of package like that.
I think you got to keep Bennington there.
And you don't want Marner. Marner can't do it in Toronto with that stacked team up there.
You don't want to bring him here to we don't need to bring that loser. We need some people that got some winning pedigree there with them.
We do. Absolutely. All right, let's move on to a little NFL talk.
All right, yes. It's not a whole lot right now. It's kind of dry season to a certain degrry. But OTAs are going on. I guess mandatory minicamp has started actually this week. So
CD's lost out on $110 million or $110,000.
$110,000, but he's looking to make up on that on that new contract.
Make up on
especially
that
after what Justin Jefferson just signed for. What was it? A record?
Yeah,
$110 million guaranteed.
Yeah, $110 million
for a non-quarterback record. $110 million guaranteed. I think he got $88 million on signing.
Really?
$88 million on the signing of that contract.
See, that always that's the NFL.
That's that salary cap bullshit. That's why when people say
because he's going to count $35 million against the cap this year.
But that's when they say the salary cap is fake because of how they manipulate the numbers. So what they do is when they do that, they give him $88 million now. He counts 35 this year. So you got Sam, what's his name? Sam Darnold.
Right.
He's going to count what 10, 12 million against the cap this year. Then you got a rookie quarterback in JJ McCarthy, so he's not going to count much.
No, he's not
so right now you got, let's say, $24, $25 million in quarterback pay right now. Right. You can fill everybody else in. You don't have any really big, huge superstars because they let Danielle Hunter go. So you don't have any big superstars that you're paying right now.
Either.
Yeah, so that's what I mean. So right now they're doing a salary cap gymnastics. See what they can do. See what type of match they can have. Say, Justin Jefferson, you're our guy. You're our face of the future. We market you. Hopefully, they hit a home run with JJ McCarthy.
Hopefully they hit a home run. Yeah, hopefully. Because if they strike out on McCarthy, you're paying Jefferson a lot of money just to be. But
part of that also is believing in Kevin O'Connell as a head coach.
Okay.
Because his offense and the play calling they have. I mean, a lot of times right now, like in this day and age with the NFL, they're scheming guys open.
They are.
And quarterbacks, a lot of their reads are pretty much predetermined before they even snap the ball. So it's not like they're going through like back in the day where guys were lining up and you had to be a Peyton man and be super cerebral.
Right.
So guys, when you get a head coach like Kevin O'Connell, who comes from that Sean McVay tree, which became popular, for many, many years once Sean McVay started having that success. Mm-hmm. I mean, that's the belief I believe in the organization that they're having right now, is that he can pretty much make it get done with a quarterback that's serviceable enough, especially as long as he's got his big play guy.
I mean, as long as he can make those out throws, I mean.
Well, and then they got, what's his name, Aaron Jones there now, too, next year. So that's going to even offset a lot. Because that hurt them last year, regardless of what they wanted to say. I said that from the beginning of the year. Not having Dalvin Cook and then going all into what's the dude?
Chandler.
Yeah, no, not Chandler.
No,
what the hell?
Mattinson.
Yeah, Alexander Madison. Alexander Madison, which I knew that was going to be a mistake. I've watched that dude play way too many times. I was like, there's no way. He doesn't even touch a fraction of Dalvin Cook.
He had some good games. He really did have a few good games.
Yeah, but he had good games when Dalvin Cook was in the lineup. Last year, he had no games that had any major impact whatsoever.
Yeah, and I mean, Ty Chandler pretty much took that over.
Yeah, that's what I mean. He was garbage. I mean, but first off, as a big back, you can't run that high. And that's what turned me off of him when I first saw him. He's a big back, you can't run that high. So, I mean, that's a, I can go into a breakdown all day.
He's no Eric Dickerson.
Hell no. Because he didn't have Eric Dickerson's speed. Eric Dickerson was a world-class sprinter. Like once Eric Dickerson got to that line, if you didn't catch him within the first 70 yards.
He ran pretty high up.
Yeah, he did, but Eric Dickerson had speed, and he also knew when to get low. His body control of, he knew when to kind of get low. Alexander Madison just runs.
No, I'm not calling Madison fucking Dickerson.
No, Alexander Madison runs, you hit him, he's going down. I mean, that's pretty much how it went. And he had no breakaway speed on top of that. And that was the difference maker with Eric Dickerson. Eric Dickerson had breakaway speed.
He did.
You didn't get him in 7-8 yards, and he got a free lane. He was gone.
And who else got an extension?
McCaffrey. Christian McCaffrey.
Yeah, well, they gave him a
2-year,
19-year extension. Yeah,
2-year, $19 million extension.
So that's actually genius, if you ask me.
Oh, I mean,
they wrap him up for another 2 years.
The rest of his premier years.
He's going to turn 30 at the end of the contract. Yeah. Somebody will pay him. They will. Somebody will pay him.
But he's already been paid, so anything that he does after that is a bonus. Right. He's to stay on the team with the winning organization that he fits in well with. So, yes, I mean, now the biggest question is going to be who's going to go. Is it going to be Debo or is it going to be Brandon or Ayuk? I mean, that's going to be the decision they have to make going forward because they drafted 2 wide receivers in the draft here. So, We'll see. So, one of those guys is going to go, whether it be in season or before the season starts.
So, I mean, that's really all I got. Oh, and the Chargers... Lindsley retired.
Yeah, Corey Linsley, he retired. Great career for Corey Linsley.
Team captain.
Yeah, I mean he was with the Saints for a while, and then came over to the Chargers after that. But we're in the Jim Harbaugh era, so Harbaugh's going to want his guys.
He's going to clean house.
He's going to clean house and get a fresh look at everything he wants to look at there. I mean, and everything else is going to be. I mean, we've had a lot of Cowboy talk with their contracts and everything like that. I don't even want to dive into that bullshit because it's such a mess right now. And until CeeDee Lamb's going to be the one they have to deal with first.
It's got to fall. CeeDee Lamb's got to fall.
CeeDee Lamb is the one they have to deal with first. They can't let CeeDee Lamb go. And then after that, they got to see what's going on with Dak. I don't like some of the little whispers that I've heard about Trey Lance, how good he looked, and all that other shit. Because you know what they're doing and they're trying to set up for. So I don't even like hearing that shit. So that's why I don't even want to dive too far into what's going to happen.
I actually forgot Trey Lance.
Yeah, and Cooper Rush is still on the team,
right,
as a backup.
Cooper's
so I mean, we got to see what happens as far as that's concerned. But as a Cowboy fan, as far as I'm going to talk about this before we get into the season any farther, what I'm actually hoping for is I would love to see them win and hit a Super Bowl. I would love to. But what I really see happening after this is actually Bill Belichick being a Dallas Cowboy coach next year. Okay. That's what I see happening. That's what I see.
Regardless, I mean, unless McCarthy wins this,
he has to win the Super Bowl. Yeah, he has to win, or at least go to the NFC Championship and lose it in crushing fashion. Losing in crushing fashion, like we had a chance to win, but like the team drove down. Outside of that, I'm primed for Bill Belichick to be the coach of the Dallas Cowboys next year. That is where I'm at. I'm a firm believer in it. If I could put money and a wager on it right now, I would put $1,000 on the fact that Bill Belichick will be the head coach of the Dallas Cowboys.
There's a future out there. I have to look into that.
You know what? I don't think they have it out there yet, but if I wish there was, because I would put $1,000 on the fact that I believe Bill Belichick will be the head coach of the Dallas Cowboys next year. If they bust and Mike McCarthy doesn't get the job done, which is not promising right now but the only reason why I hold out any hope that the season might be really good for them is because I like Mike Zimmer being back in the house. I said this before. Mike Zimmer's a solid defensive coordinator, and the defense he runs, they don't really make a lot of mistakes. They're always competitive, and whereas when you look at Dan Quinn, he's personnel dependent on his defense. Okay. I mean, his defense is dependent on guys that have to fit everything within the scheme. Where Zimmer's going to make sure everybody's responsible for their assignments and defensively disciplined. So that's the only reason why I hold out promise. But again, Eagles made a lot of moves. We'll just see as far as what Jalen Hurts does this year, and if Kenny Pickett makes any noise to stir up any quarterback controversy out there in Philly.
Go Cowboys.
Yep, go Cowboys.
All right, I've got one last thing for us. We're going to dive. I'm going to go with. This was ESPN's top 10 fantasy quarterbacks. Okay. This is for projected points, actually. I went one out. I only went 9, and I actually didn't put the 9 one in. I picked a different one.
Okay.
So they have Hurts going projected number 1 for fantasy this year.
Okay.
I actually don't see it. I think Saquon bites into his rushing touchdowns this year.
Yeah, I can see that.
Because he tied Josh Allen last year with 15 rushing touchdowns off that tush push.
And not only that, you don't have the man who made that tush push.
Yeah, and you've got Kelsey.
Kelsey is gone.
Retired. So.
Because I think they had other stat that I saw that even before Jalen Hurts and the tush push, that they were still one of the top guys in converting quarterback sneaks before Jalen Hurts got there.
But that was with Kelsey.
Yes, that was with Kelsey. Yes.
Yeah, so I don't agree with the Hurts being projected number 1. I don't see it. I mean, he'll be a top 5.
Oh, he'll be a top pick, but yeah.
But not number 1. And then they have Allen as number 2, but that's going to be dependent on his rushing touchdowns as well. Can he have another season with 15 rushing touchdowns?
I mean, I could see it.
And I can see it, too, because they didn't bring any, running back.
You got James Cook, and they're going to commit more to the running game now with Stephon Diggs gone.
They should, but will they?
Yeah. Well, I mean, they did like towards the end of the season. Once they fired Ken Dorsey and made the OC change,
they did. They definitely
did commit to running the ball more.
They did. Okay, so at number 3 they got Mahomes, and I could easily see it. Mahomes is fine. Yeah. He's got real wide receivers of Marquise Brown this year, and you've got the kid Worthy coming in.
Yeah, Worthy coming in, and then that'll free up things for Kelsey.
Yep, that'll free up things for Kelsey and Pacheco.
You can't blank bracket him anymore.
Okay, at number 4, they've got Lamar Jackson.
Okay.
Which I think, does Henry coming in actually hurt his rushing?
You know what? It'll hurt the rushing, but I still think what I like about Lamar Jackson is because of what's going to open up in that offense. You got Derrick Henry back there in the backfield. That's a threat. So there's going to be some read option threats is going to be there on that because Derrick Henry will suck up so much to the middle. Lamar Jackson hitting that edge, and he lost a little bit of weight this year to get a little bit more of explosivity.
He lost a little weight,
and because he got thicker last year to kind of take some pounding. This year, I think he's going. He wanted to get a little bit more explosive. Plus, you got those 2 tight ends because I think one of the hidden blessings last year of Mark Andrews getting hurt was the rise of Isaiah Likely. Yeah, so now you got 2 tight ends that you can throw out there in that 12 personnel. Okay. And then you go out there and then Zay Flowers, he makes another evolution going forward. And if any way that Rashad Bateman can stay healthy, I mean, I could see Lamar Jackson being the number 1 quarterback very, very easily. Very easily.
I mean, he could.
Yeah, very easily.
At number 5, they've got Joe Burrow. Joe Burrow. Now, this one, I mean, is he going to be healthy? Like, is that risk going to be okay?
I think he'll be okay.
Is losing Mixon, like with Moss coming in and taking that Mixon role, has that changed the offense at all?
I like it for this. I like Joe Burrow for this reason. First off, he's Joe Burrow, and Joe Burrow doesn't give a fuck about anything.
Right.
Like he's not scared of anything. He stays cool, calm, and collected constantly. I like that they brought Mike Gesicki in at tight end. So you got a playmaking tight end there, which they haven't really had in the last couple years.
Haven't.
And then you got then you got a hungry T. Higgins that's going to be playing for money. You got Jamar Chase who's going to be playing for money if they don't get that contract done before the season starts.
But you lost Tyler Boyd.
Yeah, you lost Tyler Boyd, but I think they'll be okay with that. I mean, I think on that third receiver, that'll be something I think they can fill that void pretty easily. Like I said again, Gesicki can fill a lot of those catches that Tyler Boyd was getting on a lot of those big third down situations or red zone, whatever it may be. So
at number 6, they've got Prescott. I mean, this one depends all on this is the CeeDee Lamb show.
It's all going to depend for me. Dak and Zeke had a very good relationship.
They did.
Before they left, they had a very good relationship. So it's going to be how much left does Zeke have in the tank? He did not look bad with New England last year.
No, he didn't.
So he's
on a bad team, too.
He's not going to break any long ones. He's not going to break any big runs. But let's see what happens as far as the development. He will punch it in the red zone, which is something that every team has to respect. Because you get within inside the 10, Zeke knows how to find that zone. So the biggest question is going to be with the Cowboys is going to be how are they going to replace what they lost on the offensive line? That's going to be like losing Tyron Smith. Losing, I always forget how to pronounce the dude's the center's name, Budskins.
I'm not even trying.
I always forget how to pronounce it.
Get me on a
I always forget how to pronounce his name. So I'm not even going to try and guess what his nationality originally is from. But I mean, it's definitely something not full American.
Right.
But either way, like how they replace the center, how they replace the left tackle, that's going to be a big issue as far as.
Dak was number 3 last year in overall fantasy quarterback points. So I mean, he can repeat it.
Dak's a talented quarterback.
But is he going to throw 36 touchdowns?
Yeah, I mean, especially during the regular season. I mean, he's definitely as solid can be in that end.
Okay, this is one that could actually land in the. He's at 7 right now. Stroud, C.J. Stroud. I mean, with that stacked wide receiver room.
I see C.J. Stroud being in the top 3.
Top 3?
I think he go top 3.
Yes. Really?
If he does anything close to his rookie season last year with what he has right now, like he even was quoted as saying the other day, he was like, man, I got like basically 5 number 1 receivers that I feel because and that was in response to Nico Collins was somebody else who actually got re-signed to a contract extension, got paid.
Yeah.
So he said, I feel like I got 5 receivers. He's like, and that takes me back to my Ohio State days, which you see over the last 5 years or so. Ohio State's been nothing but a wide receiver factory.
They've been pumping them out.
Yes, I mean Garrett Wilson, Chris Olave, and I can go on and on as far as that. So we'll see what happens there.
So Stroud at 7, you think he can be a number 3? Okay,
very easily.
So they got Richardson coming in at 8, and this one, I think this one's going to be a surprise because in 4 games that he started last year, he had 4 rushing touchdowns.
He still, I think, after missing all the time he had, I think he still finished like from rushing standpoint, like top 15.
Yeah, I believe. As far as quarterbacks go,
touchdown,
so this one with a full season season of a healthy Richardson. Taylor going to be coming, like, he's going to be better next year.
And he didn't play with Taylor at all last year either.
He didn't. And then, I really think this is the guy.
It could be a breakout. That could be a sneaky breakout.
This could be my guy this year.
Yeah, that could be a sneaky breakout. I can see that one for sure.
At number 9, they had Brock Purdy, but he just doesn't. As far as fantasy goes, like, he's just not a guy that excites me.
He still puts up numbers.
Oh, he does. He puts up numbers.
So Brock would fall into one of those categories of a guy that, like, you know what? If I got to the like with us having a 14-team draft, if I got to like the 9th, 10th round,
and it was still
Brock Purdy sitting right there, I'm like, oh, Brock Purdy coming around. So, I mean, like, because he's sturdy, you know what I mean? He's going to put up solid numbers.
Because, he averaged 18 points a game last year, but it was just nothing ever. He was never going to win you a week.
He wasn't going to win you a week, but he wasn't going to lose you a week either. He wasn't going to lose you a week.
So outside that, I actually like Jordan Love to crack this top 10.
Oh, yeah. I'm surprised he wasn't even up there higher.
They got him at 13.
Really? Yeah. That is crazy. That is a surprise.
I think Jordan Love is going to light it up this year.
Yeah. I'm a firm believer with you on that.
And he lit it up last year.
Yeah. I mean, those receivers are all going to be
just going to be a year older, better. You had rookie tight ends last year.
And now you got Josh Jacobs with you and in the backfield. So.
And that defense is going to be better than it was last year.
Oh, yeah.
Jordan Love's going to be a really good quarterback.
Yeah, I can see him being a guy who actually is a sneaky top 5.
And then, they had your Kirk Cousins in there, and,
the usual suspects.
Aaron Rodgers.
Yeah, Aaron Rodgers. I mean, and Aaron's another guy. I mean, to me, he's a top 10 guy. You just got to see. You just don't know what's going to happen.
Yeah, you just don't, can he even move?
Yeah, he'll still be able to move. I mean, especially because that injury happened so early in the year.
I just want to see that first snap under,
Yeah, and the offensive line's going to be a lot better this year. So,
okay, you're right.
Yeah, I mean, and he's got Garrett. I mean, Garrett Wilson's been waiting for that. I mean, he's needed that so bad.
He does.
So,
he could actually have a monster.
Because, I mean, to me, he's one of the best receivers in the league. He just has not had a chance to show that yet because of such mediocre quarterback play.
Well, that's all I got.
Yeah, so, I mean, we're just kind of cruising along here.
Yep.
Gonna kind of enjoy every bit of these finals here, folks, because after that, it's nothing but baseball, baby.
Nothing but baseball. Nothing but baseball. And more fantasy talk.
Yeah, we'll definitely dive into fantasy talk.
I'll do running backs next week.
Yeah, right on. Yeah, we'll definitely dive into some fantasy talk because you know what? We got about 90 days till kickoff here.
It's getting there. It's getting there, though.
It's getting there. But, so we're just going to keep enjoying this fucking run here. Thanks for tuning in for us. Make sure you hit that like and subscribe button. Hit the add to the comment section. Shout out to True on the Track again. We'll keep this train rolling with you. Talk some more Cardinals baseball. I'm Jason Smoking Token.
I'm Bobby Light.
See you next week. Peace.